Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Hope Watts, board certified family physician, speaker, health coach, and lifestyle manager. We are going to continue on with our talks about losing weight and how you can accomplish this with exercise and possibly medications. We talked about diet before, and we hinted on some things we could do with exercise, but we're going to go into it in a little bit more depth so that you have a better understanding of what you can try and see what works for you. Okay, now sometimes I get patients who come in and say, Dr. Watts, I have tried, eating healthy, or I've been eating a lot of salads, and I'm eating fruits and vegetables, and I've been doing this for 2 or 3 months, but I have not lost any weight. And then I ask, well, have you started any exercise? And they'll say, well, no, I just thought that all I had to do was cut back on calories and I would lose the weight. So, tip number one, you can lose weight just by reducing calories, but that doesn't work for the overwhelming majority of people. Usually that can help with people who are younger sometimes, but it doesn't work all the times. That's why we're talking about utilizing exercise to help you with your weight loss goals. The recommendation, quote unquote, the powers that be say that you should get in a minimum of 150 minutes a week. Now, if you're a newbie to exercise, you really can't be doing 150 minutes. You're going to have to start out slowly, maybe do 10 minutes a day, and so that your body gets used to exercising and the muscles start moving in the way they should, and then gradually inch up. Usually, starting out 10 minutes a day and then adding 5 minutes on each week will eventually get you up to the 50 minutes a day. Now, is everybody going to be able to exercise every day? The answer is no, a categorical no, because our lives are not like that. We have different things to do on different days, and things come up, and we may have to transport someone somewhere, and you know the drill. So what we suggest is that you start out doing 2 to 3 days a week, and then gradually work up to 5 days if you can do it. Or as you're working your way up, you can decide to do more on that day. Maybe you're going to do more than 30 minutes. Maybe you'll do 40 or 50 minutes. But either way, try to keep in mind that amount of exercise per week. And that is really a starting goal. So being that is a starting goal, where do you go from your starting goal? Some people, 150 minutes a week is not enough for them to lose weight. And it does depend on how much weight you have to lose. So if you've reached that 150 goal, the next goal would be 300 minutes a week. But that's only after you've gotten everything stabilized and you know what your goals are and you know what you want to accomplish. So some people feel that a gym membership is what they need. Now, of course, I know that everybody's on lockdown from COVID-19, but I saw that my Y had opened up. I didn't even bother to go in there because I didn't want to be confronted with the fact that people were in there exercising, and I didn't want to figure out whether they had masks on or not. So I didn't even go in there. I've just been exercising outside. So first of all, you need to really, really, really count the cost of getting a gym membership. You need to make sure you're able to go there on a regular basis. Make sure you have time to go there. Some gyms don't open up late at night. I know there are some that open to midnight, so you need to probably find something like that. The other thing is the cost. Now, there are some gym memberships that are $9.99, and that's a straight, kind of, that's what it is. Those gyms are just $9.99. But there are other gyms that have a lot of bells and whistles. Like I went to one where they have a massage parlor there. You can get your a face massage. You can get your eyebrows done there. They have a little cafeteria there, and you can do pretty much anything in that that facility. They even have babysitting if you bring your children in, and they have activities for the children. Now that is not going to be $9.95. That's probably going to be in the hundreds of dollars, and you're going to have to make sure that you're getting good use for your money, because those gyms are very expensive. The other thing to consider is, how much money are you spending on a gym? If it's taking a large portion of your income, you may want to rethink it and find another place to go. Sometimes I'm confronted with the fact that patients can't continue in their contracts. And some of these larger gyms, like the one I described, have contracts, and they make it very hard for you to get out of the contract. So you really need to be sure that that's exactly what you want to do. Have the gym membership, and you're going to be completely sold out to being there on a regular basis. Now, can everybody afford a gym membership? No, because they are expensive, and you may not, and may be too far away. The good things about gyms are that they offer a large variety of different types of equipment. They have ellipticals, they have stationary bikes, recumbent bikes, bikes that you sit straight up. They have new ellipticals. They even have they have steppers and combination stair steppers, but you need to decide if that's what you really need. Also, they do have classes, just like the Y, and the Y may be a cheaper version of a fitness place. So as I said, if you are deciding on a gym, count the cost and decide if that gym is going to meet your needs, because sometimes it's very hard to get out of the contract. So another way to get your exercise is to join a Facebook group or an Instagram group. Some of them are on Instagram, some are on Facebook. And the ones that I have in mind are Black Girls Run, Black Girls Hike, and Black Girls Do Bike, okay? I first came to know about Black Girls Run through one of my patients. And she said, Dr. Watts, we go out every day. And I think they were out there at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm thinking to myself, man, they are really dedicated. But I started sending my patients to Black Girls Run, because evidently in the neighborhood where I worked at, there was a large group. And I think they had like 20 people going out. And patients would come back and tell me how much they enjoyed going out with a group of women who had the same goals that they had, and they were keeping each other accountable. So from sending patients to that group, many people decided that they were going to do a 5K. And these were people who had never done a 5K before. And the group made it so easy to learn, and they encouraged the people. And so patients would come back and tell me, Dr. Watts, I did a 5K. And I was like, you did a 5K? Well, how did you do the 5K? She said, well, I've been going to Black Girls Run, and everybody is doing at least a 5K, Dr. Watts. I said, well, good. So I knew that was helping them achieve their goals for exercise and fitness. The other thing about this, and I'm just going to talk about Black Girls Run, that's the one I know the most about, they encourage people to eat healthy. They have workshops on how to eat, what things you need to eliminate from your diet. So, in other words, they're doing some of the things that I'm telling my patients to do, and they're enjoying it anyway. They're having a good time with what they're doing. Black Girls Run is a national organization, and they do have a membership each year, and I think it's like $10 or something, maybe $15. But they have large conventions, and guess what they do at their conventions? They have 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. I don't think the last one had a marathon, but anyway, people when they come know that they're going to be in races, and they have a wonderful time. Now, I just need to tell you, because on their website, Black Girls Run says they are not strictly for Black girls. They're for yellow, brown, whatever nationality you are, they will still accept you for membership. Going to these groups is probably preferable because most of their exercise is outside, and at least you're going to be in groups. I did see something on the TV where they were out in groups. They had their lights on, and it was dark. So it makes it a little safer for women to go out and exercise. Now, Black Girls Hike, I saw them on the news, and they were hiking through mountainous terrain. And, the person who was the spokesperson for the group said, well, we tell each person how advanced the trail is, and they can decide which trail they want to go on. And I think they base their hiking on beginner, medium, and advanced. And it's a really good way to lose weight and to see nature, because they go on trails. Where I live at, there are so many trails that you can probably go throughout the whole city and see the whole city, with all they have a lot of marsh land too, though, but it's very beautiful land. And Black Girls Do Bike have a very substantial group of women who like to bike. And think about it. If you were in a group like that, wouldn't you want to go with them on a regular basis? Now, let's forget about the gym. The gym people are usually doing by themselves. They come in, they go out. But here's a group of women who have the same interests as you. They want to lose weight. They want to stay fit. And you can be there with them and enjoy everything that they do. Do it together. So I would not be telling you everything if I did not talk about the 10,000 steps. I have a friend who counts her steps religiously, and if we go somewhere, she has her little Fitbit on, and she says, look, we're going to have to walk at least 2 miles before we sit down and eat something. I said, okay, but I can count on this friend to always talk about how many steps she's had and where she wants to go. So I'm saying all that to really bring up a point. Research shows that who you hang out with will determine how you address your weight. So I know when I go with her, you got to have your sneakers, okay? That's it. And if you don't have them, she's going to say, well, where are your sneakers at? And so I have my sneakers. And one time we went out, we're supposed to be going out to dinner, right? She says, look, so I said, we've got at least 2 miles to do before we have dinner. I said, okay, but is that going to be the 10,000 steps? She said, no, we'll get the rest of those steps on the way back to the parking lot. And there's always a laugh about it because we have so much fun about it. So if you have friends that stress exercise and stress eating correctly, your mind will shift to doing those kinds of things because you're going to be around them all the time. And the research shows that if you hang out with people that keep exercise and eating healthy food high on their priorities, you will start moving that way also. So that's just a little antidote to let you know that it's good to be around people who exercise. So how do you count the steps? Now, when we were counting steps initially, we used to have these pedometers, which means counting feet. But now we've really advanced. We have we have Fitbits, and we actually have them on our phones. And I wanted to show you on my phone what it looks like. Now, don't look at the steps because I haven't got a lot of steps in today. So, and these are like, they come standard. This is an Android phone, and I'm going to see if you could see what it looks like here. You'll be able to see someone running, and the little heart shows how many beats per minute. And then up top, it says 103, and that's how many steps I've had today. And then underneath it says 10,000. So you know I have a ways to go. But I have an excuse today. I was not carrying my cell phone with me when I was walking up and down. So I probably had more steps than that. So now, counting steps is very easy. But some patients find that it's not enough exercise for them to lose weight. So you may want to get up to 16,000 steps and then go to the gym and put in some extra work that way, or do some work at home. But it's a lot of fun, and people, I can't tell you how many people, sometimes I go out with, they're like, well, yeah, I did like 5,000 already. I got another 5,000 to do. It's just like Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers people, you always know the Weight Watchers people, they're always counting their points. And when you sit down to eat, they're like, oh, I can't have that because that's too many points. So there you go. There it is again. If you hang out with people who are concerned about their health, you're going to start doing the same things. So I do count my steps, and this is a new phone, so all the history is gone. Now, how do you add on extra exercise? You can do that by walking some more, or getting on your bike, your stationary bike, or just doing activities with your family. Lots of kids will go to sleep. You push that stroller long enough, they'll go to sleep. And this is a good thing. This is a good thing I wanted to say. If you exercise with your family, kids love to go out and exercise, and you're building habits for them as they get older. Now, let's talk about types of exercise. Well, of course, walking, jogging, running, doing elliptical. Some people, invest in a Peloton. I figured out how much that was, and it really is an investment. Line dancing. I had a patient who had broken both of her ankles. And I'm thinking to myself, no, she's not going to lose any weight. And she came in, she said, Dr. Watts, look, I've lost 20 pounds. And I said, well, how did you do that? And she said, Dr. Watts, I got this CD on line dancing. And each day I do line dancing for an hour. And she did electric slide, she did Cuban shuffle. And she said, I love doing that anyway. And I said, that's great. So you can see, you don't have to be jogging, you don't have to be walking. You can vary it. One particular type of exercise does not have to hold you captive. You can do as many different kinds of exercise as you like. And the other thing about exercising is, if you do too much of the same thing, your body gets used to it. And if you're like on a nice trajectory to lose more weight, it may get stalled somewhere. So it's good to do variety. And I actually have a friend who does ballroom dancing. And she says, I've lost weight doing ballroom dancing. And I was like, no, you cannot lose weight doing ballroom dance. She said, yes, I have. So it proves that some of the tried and true things that we used to think were the things that you have to do to lose weight are not necessarily the case. You can dance your way to losing weight. And a lot of people love that anyway. So the other thing is, it doesn't matter what you do, you just need to be consistent with it, and you need to do it on a regular basis. And sometimes it is not easy getting up and exercising. Sometimes we have a lot of, responsibilities, and we have a lot of challenges. But the more consistent you are, the more it's going to pay off. And you are going to see that, just those little steps. And the other thing I need to tell you is we talked about that 10 minutes and 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you can go up higher than that. But some days you may not be able to do that. If you decide on one day, I'm just really tired and you just want to do 10 minutes, that's fine because that's going to keep you in the habit of doing it. And the next day, maybe you'll just catch back up and do like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. So don't be held captive to, oh, I didn't do 20 minutes, so I'm just not making any headway. That's not the case because one day is not going to make that much difference. But if one day turns into 2 days or 3 days or 4 days, yes, it will make a difference. So every day doesn't have to be 30 minutes. And sometimes if I don't feel like doing cardio, I'll do weights or something like that. So that can take the place of for your exercising. So just going to summarize some of the benefits, and these are just a short amount of benefits for exercise. In addition to losing weight, it will decrease your blood pressure, increase your energy, and make you more restful at sleep. And you'll get more sound sleep because some people complain about waking up all the time in the middle of the night, and you have a better sense of well-being. Now, some people can lose weight by diet or changing their food choices, as we talked about earlier. And some people feel like they need some medication to help them. So the FDA has approved at least 3 medications for weight loss. And this approval has come through, I think they've been around for at least 7 or 8 years. So the first one is Qsymia, Qsymia. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly though, but it's a combination of 2 generic drugs that prove to be successful for weight loss. And they individually help with weight loss, but maybe not as dramatically, but together they work pretty well. So you would have to get a coupon from your doctor or get a coupon online so that you can get a discounted price for this medication. Unfortunately, oftentimes when new medications come out, they tend to be expensive and sometimes everyone can't use them as long as they would like. The next medication is called Contrave. This too is a medication that is a combination of 2 medicines. One is bupropion, which is a medication to help with depression. The other one is called naltrexone, and that was used for alcohol and drug dependence. Now, let's just be clear here. We are not given, this medicine is not being used for that, but in combination with the bupropion, it seems to be a very effective medicine for weight loss. Now, this medication also you will need a coupon for because the price is expensive. And so you will need to get the coupon either online or get it from your doctor so that you'll be able to use it. Now, these medicines that I'm talking about right now are for long-term use. But I find that sometimes patients, do well initially, but then they stall somewhere in the middle. And I'm not sure if some of the patients feel, oh, that medicine is going to help me lose the weight, and they don't stick to the whole plan. Another medicine is called Saxenda. Now, this medicine has a pretty interesting history. Liraglutide is a diabetic drug, and that was approved like over 15 years ago, 10 to 15 years ago, and we found that a lot of diabetic patients were losing weight. Not all of them, but some were losing a lot of weight. So I don't know whether the FDA or the drug company decided to do a separate arm in their company for a weight loss drug, which is exactly the same med as they give to diabetics. So you could say to me, well, why did they have to do that? Because the FDA has specific guidelines about certain drugs. And since it's an injectable drug, they felt they worked with a company to carve out a little space for them for weight loss medicine. Now, this too needs a coupon, and some insurance companies are not willing to pay for it, even if you have a coupon. So it is a good drug and it does work. But one of the main side effects is nausea. And as you continue to take the medicine, you can find yourself being a little nauseous. There was another drug out called, let's see here, Belvique, and they took that off the market in February. So you may still see some coupons for that online. They may not have taken them off, but if you see that, don't even bother to get it because it has been taken off the market. Now, there are some older drugs that have been approved many, many years ago, but they're not as effective as some of the newer ones. One of them is phentermine, and that is approved for short-term use, about 12 weeks. And sometimes patients say they need to jumpstart their weight loss, and I'll just give it to them for about 2 to 3 months. Now, orlistat or Ally, which is over the counter, I'm not sure if a lot of people are trying that at all because, first of all, it has some side effects that are very unpleasant. And one of them may be involuntary loss of oily stools. Now, who wants to go around with oily stools or see some indentations on your clothing that you weren't anticipating? It is over the counter at a lower dose, and that side effect may limit its use. Okay, so we're coming to how to stay on track. Getting support. Now, that can be in the form of family, friends, or coworkers. And who knows, some of your family members may decide to join you in your weight loss quest. And that makes it a little easier for you to go through things and they're not kind of interrogating you about what you did because they're in there supporting you and you're supporting each other. Now, coworkers can be very helpful also. I can't tell you how many companies have these weight loss challenges. And, the participants put in a certain amount of a certain amount of money, and it's matched by the company, and everybody gets into a group, and their goal is to get the money. Okay. But you're saying, but they're supposed to be losing weight. They do lose the weight, but sometimes the weight loss gets kind of sidelined because they're making money. And then shortly after this challenge is over, they go back to their old habits. But you could still enlist a coworker to be your support, especially if you were in that group. So the point of having these persons who are in your sphere of influence is to keep you accountable, to keep you on track, and to make sure you're successful. Because sometimes we hear from patients and say, look, I've tried everything. And then when we ask them, well, what did you do? And how often did you do it? And then they're kind of silent then. So this is to keep you on track and to keep you striving for your goals. The other thing you can do is to keep a diary. And some people are really good at doing that and some aren't. But there's an app called MyFitnessPal, and that can help you write down really your foods. But a separate diary for the exercising would also be helpful. So I have come to the conclusion of my talk today. I hope that it was helpful. And we're going to continue on next week and talk about another aspect of weight loss. And any questions? Hi, Dr. Andrea. How are you today? So, I am Dr. Hope Watts, board certified family physician, health coach, speaker, and lifestyle expert. Please stay tuned and see me again next week at this time. And you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. Have a good weekend, everyone. Ms. Jeffries, do you have another question? Oh, I guess.